In the world of the Google Pixel phones, sometimes we never really understand what Google was thinking when they decided to make the next year's flagship. And the Pixel 5 is one of those that kind of sits in that boat, as it left a lot of people scratching their heads wondering just what was Google thinking. When the Pixel 5 was announced at the Made by Google event, it had people really just kind of like, what? That was the question I saw a lot on social media. And the reason why was just the certain things that Google did to make this phone price tagged at $699 at launch. One of the things that left people pondering on Google's decision was to put the Snapdragon 765G in this phone. A lot of people were really starting to wonder if this was going to hold up, if this was going to feel like a flagship, if it was going to perform right. How well would Android be optimized on this? Those were a lot of the questions. And I have to say that it does. It does perform very, very well. Now, you can argue that point and talk about what you see on paper in black and white, but you got to have one in hand in order to actually really understand just how well it performs, how well Google optimized this, how well that Google was able to do the things that it did with the Pixel 5. Those are the things that really count and why you need to have one in hand if you're going to, in fact, make a full judgment on it. The 765G does not slow this phone down whatsoever. In fact, it performs super good and very smooth. Whether you have it in 90 hertz refresh or you have it in 60 hertz refresh, it feels very smooth. Every application that I've used has worked just great. Hasn't really had any hiccups. Even on Android 13 Beta 3, it's still chugging along just fine. But some of the biggest things that the Pixel is known for is the cameras. And I have to say, one area it strengthened with the Pixel 5 was taking video, which I have some samples here for you guys. But nonetheless, it's still a great phone. Check out the samples. Yeah, so it's pretty hot today, and now I'm using a selfie cam for video. Audio all from the Pixel 5. Yeah, this phone's actually really good. It's still really good. I don't know. I just kind of feel like that people just love to complain about phones if they don't have the most powerful of everything. It's like everyone wants the most powerful phone, but they want it to be the most cheapest price, and that's not how it works. So the Pixel 5 is still solid, and I think this phone still would have been super badass with the Tensor chip. Lightning and thunder still going on. All right, we got video from the Pixel 5, and it's thundering. It's dropping some rain. So I figured what a good way to kind of test the camera on the Pixel 5. The wind is kind of picking up too. I think the other big key point here is just where the Pixel 5 is able to connect. As there's a lot of devices that tend to have like a millimeter wave version and just a sub-6 version. The Pixel 5 just sticks straight to having millimeter wave and sub-6. The downside to it is, though, is that even though that Google can, they basically stated that they're not bringing C-band support to the Pixel 5. And it can, but they just choose not to. Leaves people scratching their heads again. But in all seriousness, though, the Pixel 5 is a solid phone. If the 6 is not your type, you're not looking for a much bigger phone, you like smaller form factors, the 5 is really, really, really going to be that sweet spot. Other things that people have complained about, speaker under the display, hasn't been a hindrance for me. But, you know, to each his own, right? That's just me. And my preferences aren't the golden standard. But it doesn't bother me any. Of course, I still give it to the Pixel 4 as being the king of audio of all Google Pixel phones. Aside from that, I just have to say that it's great. If you are looking for one and you find it at a good price, you got a hell of a deal. Well, let me know what your thoughts are. If you've owned the Pixel 5, tell me your experience. Thanks for watching this. Aloha.